Yelp. We're gonna bleep that one out. But I remember talking to Yelp. My mom had a restaurant, and the way that they were like, I don't know, man. I really felt like they were just like, I don't know. It just felt really unethical working with Yelp. The way that they come after people.
You beat me to it, man. This problem is so much bigger than TrustPilot. So much bigger. Years ago, I remember hiring a graphic designer off of Fiverr, and she had like 1,000 positive reviews. And like, this is I'm only going to share this story really quickly because this was like my eye-opening moment. And I guess I just learned this lesson the hard way years ago.
Good morning, marketers. We are back, and this time I got headphones. I actually do not like wearing the headphones, but I did figure out that in order to calibrate your microphone to actually sound good in a podcast or whatever, you do need headphones in order to like kind of figure it out. There's a lot of different settings, and then what I also found was that you got to like record yourself because it sounds a little bit different. Like now, I think I sound cool, and the voice sounds cool in my headphones, but then when I go to actually listen to it on video, it sounds slightly different. But I found Andrew got his sound quality great, or he just has this like radio quality voice. I don't know, Andrew, you just sound so sharp. But
I'm working on it, man. Working on it.
I was wearing these headphones while I was working yesterday, and they do get hot. And I imagine it's way hotter where you are now. But in the summertime here, I think I'm going to be like sweating my ears off with these headphones. So, and I have AirPods, but my AirPods are like, second gen, and the battery dies so fast. So I'm thinking about maybe investing in some new AirPods or something like that to not die in the heat.
Dude, in my experience, any wireless device for podcasts, no bueno. It's because there's Bluetooth issues, there's battery issues, there's so many. I can't tell you how many times where I'm working with clients, and in some cases, these are really successful, busy people where it's almost impossible to get on their calendar. So my client finally gets some successful person on their calendar, and then there's like a Bluetooth issue, and it's like, oh, did you shut off your other Bluetooth devices? And like the troubleshooting, I always tell my clients, like, stay away from the wireless stuff, just because you'll thank me later.
I have the same feeling. I think with just listening to the sound, like, because if I can just hear, like, because we don't want this echoing sound going on when we're recording. Yeah. Maybe it'll work, but I know my headphones now, the battery dies pretty fast. I have 2 pairs of AirPods, and they both crapped out. Oh, we got to bleep that out. My friend was laughing so much at the bleeping of the swear words. He's like, no way, you guys are gonna be able to do this. He's like, you swear way too much. So, but I do agree that I think I like to have a clean podcast. I don't like potty mouth. I don't like. It's something some people pull it off, but when you're just potty mouth for no reason, I don't really like it. Like, I know when Gary Vee does it, he's a little impactful, it's cool. But when I was listening to like Mr. Beast talking and he was just like potty mouth the whole time, like, oh, easy there, buddy. My son loves you. So.
It's definitely, I mean, I've heard Gary Vee talk about this. It's part of his brand. He justifies swearing in his content to add that exclamation mark, make a point about something, which I get it. But there are so many reasons why it doesn't. It's not suitable for families, and not suitable on the different platforms, because it actually negatively impacts the amount of advertisers that are willing to pay to put their ads on your videos or your podcast. So it's one of those pros and cons situations. If you want to swear in your content or not, right? There's definitely valid reasons to avoid it, though. Yeah.
Have you ever heard Tony Robbins live?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, he swears like a sailor too. Yeah.
Crazy. And he says that he does it for it's a pattern interrupt. So he'll say very vulgar things. So like it keeps you awake. You're like, what the hell did he just say? Like really vulgar. Yeah. It's very entertaining and funny. But I was surprised because when you watch him on YouTube or interviews, he does not swear at all. But you go to him live, you're just like, what the?
Yeah. And he's not the only one that talks about pattern interrupts. Daryl Eves, arguably one of the top YouTube experts on the planet, he talks about pattern interrupts all the time. There are video editing ways to do pattern interrupts. There's like silly things that you could insert like some weird like behind the scenes aspect and just to keep the viewer, the listener re-engaged. Pattern interrupts work, and that's why people do them. And yeah, I know exactly what. Like I remember watching, what's it called? I'm Not Your Guru, and he says some pretty outlandish things, and people are like gasp and whatnot. And then he knows how to keep people engaged for 12 hours. How many people on the planet can do that?
Yeah, I mean, even just speaking for 12 hours is quite a challenge.
Yeah.
So we got some interesting stories to cover today. We're gonna go on a little bit of a journey here. Our first story here is around a YouTuber named Airrack. Have you heard of Airrack?
I have, but I admit I am not a consumer of his content. I definitely heard the news when he got to what is it, 1 million subscribers in less than a year. That's huge. That's huge. But I got to say that I got to quickly pause here because a lot of people are going to hear you and I mention this story and they're going to be like, "Damn, I suck, Andrew. I suck. I've been doing this for a year and I'm at like 1,000 subscribers." I mean, like 6 of one and half a dozen the other. Yeah, he accomplished something incredible. And in this article that we're flagging for everybody on TubeFilter, he's raised $3 million in seed funding for this this course. Right? He's calling it a YouTuber film school. But the thing that I always come back to and sometimes I have to mention this, Matt. There are YouTubers and brands out there that will have millions and millions of subscribers. And then I jump in and do some of my fancy, data numbers and crunching. And just through public facing data, I can reasonably assess that there is a large portion of those subscribers are either fake or disengaged or not relevant because maybe they subscribed to your channel and they never came back ever again. I always tell people your viewers are a lot more important than your subscribers. Having said all of that, what Eric has achieved here is nothing short of exceptional. Nothing short of I'm not saying his subscribers are fake. I'm just saying I just know people are going to hear us talk about this and they're going to get down on themselves. And I'm like, listen, the quality of your subscribers is far more important than the number of your subscribers. There's all kinds of successful YouTubers out there with like 10,000 subscribers. So had to mention that.
That's true. And also now, I don't know if it's maybe harder, but I was thinking back in the day, I remember there was another YouTuber. He kind of stopped YouTubing. We should maybe do a story on him another day. But his name was Loth, Andrew Hales. He was also another prankster
I haven't come
that
across him.
Yeah, he uploaded every Monday for a year and got to 1 million subscribers and did like pretty funny pranks. But he's another story. But yeah, nowadays, I think it's a lot more rare for like a YouTuber. People, being a YouTuber is different from like just putting out videos. Like, I don't think like we're really YouTubers, we're not doing these like crazy stunts and, not stunts, but like, trying to create viral content, anything like that. Right. I don't know. I think we're more just like regular creators. I don't know what you want to call it. So what's interesting about Airrack, so Airrack raised $3 million for his YouTube online course, which I think is super interesting. So I want to give a little background on Airrack and how he got to 1 million subscribers. So because I think it was just like watching his journey, and I followed it from the beginning and somehow it ended up on my YouTube feed. I followed the story. He went and bought Jake Paul's couches. Or no, sorry, it was Logan Paul's couches, not Jake Paul. Logan Paul's couch. So Logan Paul, he found that Logan Paul had a listing to sell his Mercedes couches. They were like $20,000. And apparently these couches looked very nice. They were like in a nice circular shape and they came into 3 pieces. And they were very uncomfortable to sit on. So he was having a hard time selling them. So Airrack came, bought the couches, and then did the couch series, which is a very entertaining series to watch. And so for each couch, he did a different thing on the video with it. And it was I won't spoil it actually, but yeah, the very last video was very funny. Actually, I will spoil it. He ends up giving one of the couches back as a gift to Logan Paul. It was pretty funny. And that's kind of like, then he kind of got tied into and like, became friends with, call it, I don't know if they're friends, but whatever. But basically started working a little bit with Logan Paul, doing some things. He did a little fighting match with him as well. And then on, during Christmas time of 2020, he trapped himself on an island and said that he wouldn't leave until he had 1 million subscribers. And they did it before New Year's Eve. And while doing research for the story, I looked at his channel and I could not believe it. I didn't even notice this until yesterday. He's now at 4.5 million subscribers. So it took him a year to get to 1 million. And then 3 months later, he's basically growing at about 1 million subscribers a month. And what's more...
Dude, I'm looking at his channel right now. He's got 4.81 million.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what's more is when Mr. Beast was on Joe Rogan and he mentioned that he was coaching or advising another YouTuber. I don't know if you remember that part. And then he didn't say the YouTuber.
Yeah, I do.
I think it was Airrack, because Airrack has been in a few a few Mr. Beast videos over the last couple months. I think he's been in 3.
He has.
He was just in the last one that Mr. Beast just uploaded. Wow. He was in there as well. So I have a feeling that was my theory, is that he was referencing Airrack. So Airrack is very interesting. I think he's just, seeing his ambitions, and like he's really living the creator lifestyle. So I saw when he started Creator Now, I was actually going to join the program, but I know that I don't want to be like a YouTuber, right? Like the kind of content that they're making, I don't want to do that. But I was watching it, and I did look at, I'm in marketing. I do sales funnels and landing pages, and I looked at his landing page, and I was surprised it was really well done. So I got it up on my screen now. He's changed it a little bit over time. The branding, the colors, the copy. I think it's really well done. And this is how he monetized his audience, because originally they weren't making a whole lot of money. They used to do a lot of jokes about how they couldn't get brand deals and sponsors, or their sponsors weren't paying enough. But by selling an online course, I'm sure now anyone who's, a lot of our audience, knows about the course industry and so on. You can make a lot of money selling online courses. There's another group of YouTubers I want to bring up as well that also made a transition from YouTube to selling online courses, which was the guys from Simple Pickup. They also used to do like kind of prank videos, but while trying to pick up girls and stuff. They were pretty funny. And then they wanted to stop doing that kind of content. And they ended up creating another company called Jump Cut. And I've heard that they are doing very well. I actually talked to the founder there a few years back. And so I've been kind of keeping an eye on them. They have a pretty big company now. They got a big office, a lot of employees. They're teaching a lot of people how to become YouTube creators. So I thought this story was interesting because of how many course creators are in the digital marketing industry, and how many creators are looking at ways to monetize their audience. And a lot of them turn to courses, right? They do courses, subscriptions. Maybe it's like a Patreon, something like that, where they're giving like extra content. But to do an actual course where you're teaching something, I think is a great way to monetize your audience without needing to worry about sponsors or brand deals. So I think it's
okay. So let's talk about this.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Matt. Let's talk about this, because I know you're a big fan of online courses. Hell, I'm in the middle of creating my first online course for the very first time, and I'm going through that steep learning curve. And what I've come to realize, perhaps later than most, is that you really have to be somewhat generic, because you don't really know who's consuming the course. And unfortunately, the data shows us that the majority of people who start an online course don't actually finish it. Now, I've noticed a lot of conversation around this subject in social media recently, where a lot of people are criticizing online courses because really, are you going to move the needle? Now, actually, I can't remember his name. We both know him. And he posted on LinkedIn recently. Oh man, he had that great podcast out of Vancouver. His name escapes me right now. He worked for Thinkific. What's his name? You know him. He's a Vancouver boy.
Oh, Tyler?
What's his last name?
Basu?
No, I don't think is that his name? Damn, I can't remember his name.
Okay.
Anyways, It's bugging me right now. It's totally bugging me right now.
Yeah.
So he posted on LinkedIn that he was critical. He was critical of online courses, because what a lot of people are doing now is they're like, you know what, screw it. I'm not doing the online course anymore. I'm going to offer a live coaching program and charge $10,000 a month or whatever. Just charge whatever. And I think that was the example he floated out. And I commented on his post because I agree with him, but I also don't agree with, like, there's a time and a place, and there's always going to be those people out there that have more time and less money, less of a budget to invest. And those are the people you're targeting with an online course. The people who are willing to slug it through, get through all the modules, put in the hours. And unfortunately, it's going to be a really small percentage of the people that are taking your course, because the data shows us that most people don't actually finish online courses. Whereas if you're doing like a done with you model or a done for you model, yeah, you're going to pay a premium. You're going to pay more because now you're paying for the access from the expert. But yeah, I've just noticed some hate recently. I like online courses. Hell, I've taken a lot in my life, and I've got a lot of success because I've taken some online courses. But I've seen some hate on that model recently.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So, people know me from my, online courses for over 10 years. That was my main bread and butter. And I kind of lost my passion. That's why I stopped doing social media director. I wasn't as passionate about it because I think that all information is available for free. The challenge is, what are the questions? If you know the question, you could find the answers. And so when I was thinking about doing another course, and I'm still kind of thinking about it, I got some, some stuff, scratched down, was what, what information would be the most helpful to help people, either get started or get to that next stage. So it was more about templates and resources and also the community function. I just joined an online course that's about building a startup, and I actually joined it for the community aspect. I like the content is okay, but I'm engaged in the community and I'm making friends, setting up meetings, and I'm finding tech co-founders, stuff like that. Right. So I think the community aspect is a big part of it. And that's one of the reasons why I really liked Airrack's program, because it's very community focused. He even did videos with them. They all met up at the beach and did a video together. He's putting them on some of his videos and helping promote their channels and so on. Very community focused. So I think with online courses, community being a big part. I was really big into looking at the various LMSs, so the learning management systems, which we're going to get into in our next story here. But what I've learned is that mobile learning is very important to help increase course completion rates. Course completion rates are less than 10%. You hear Tony Robbins and others talk about that less than 20% will finish their course. So getting someone to actually finish your course is, one of your main roles as a course creator, is getting people to actually finish it. And they won't finish it unless they get engaged in the community. You remember when we were doing social media director, we had a lot of students all at the same time. And what ended up happening was everyone was in this Facebook group. When they would ask questions or, post their homework, everybody else was helping them. And actually, I thought if I had too many students, I wouldn't be able to serve them all. But what happened was the students ended up supporting each other. So, I think because of that community ended up forming, right? So I think that's a big part of it. So yeah, I'm very interested to see, how this program grows and what he does with it. I hope he's very successful with this. I think that if you want to be a creator, I think this would be a good place to go. I'm not an affiliate for this or anything. I just have a feeling that they know what they're doing. They know that, community is a big part of it. You want to do collaborations with other YouTubers. Well, all of these YouTubers are there. They all have the same mindset. And you guys probably do videos together and, get feedback on your thumbnails together and so on. So, and he's even got some guest speakers in there. He had Mr. Beast is there, Colin and Samir, Casey Neistat. A lot of them are also kind of some of the guests in this. And again, we're not running an ad for this thing. I just think it looks pretty cool.
Right on. We moving on to the next one here.
So moving on to the next story, getting into the LMS world. So LMS stands for Learning Management System. And so whenever you have an online course, you will need people to, you need a place where they're going to go to consume that content. So a lot of these LMSs, like a very famous one would be Thinkific that was brought up earlier. That's also Vancouver based. What are some other big ones?
Geez.
What are the ones that come to mind?
I recently was, the only reason why this one just came to mind is because I was reviewing it recently, but there's, I'm failing miserably right now. Trainer Central. Trainer Central is the one that I was reviewing lately. I wouldn't say it's one of the big ones, but it's the one that I was reviewing recently.
Never even heard of it. So there's like SaaS-based LMSs. So there is Kajabi. A lot of people are using Kajabi because Kajabi has a lot of all-in-one
Kajabi,
tools. Another one is some people put their courses on Udemy. So Udemy does like Udemy is more like a marketplace. They do a rev share. And so maybe you can get some traction there if you end up having a popular course there. But there's a lot of these LMSs that are out there. Another one that I was working with a lot was Buddy Boss, which is a WordPress based one, right? But most of these cost about $100 a month. That's like kind of the realm of LMSs. And then as you get more and more features in it, $300 a month, $500 a month. I know Kajabi, I look at what they offer at their pricing and knowing the marketplace, I think that they're way overpriced. I cannot get behind Kajabi. And the other one that was a good one was Mighty Networks. So Mighty Networks is very much community-focused platform, and you can have your courses on there. I don't like the usability of it, but it's a good platform and for a very affordable price. But what I noticed recently was ThriveCart, which is a shopping cart platform. So ThriveCart allows you to do your whole checkout process. If you're building a funnel, you could do a one-click upsell. You could do upsells and downsells throughout the funnel. You can do an order bump. If you're familiar with ClickFunnels and all of their functionality, you could do all the same things that the ClickFunnels cart can do with ThriveCart. And the reason why originally I invested into ThriveCart was because of their automatic affiliate payout system. So if you're running an affiliate program, we had a lot of affiliates, and it was a pain in the butt to pay everybody out, especially if you have like 50 affiliates and they're all one sale here, two sales there. You know, they're not really big affiliates. You got a lot of small affiliates. Payout was like a big issue. So what you could do with ThriveCart is you could do a one click to pay everybody through PayPal. You can even do automatic payouts. So it just after the grace period's over, after the refund grace period's over, it just automatically pays everybody out. So that was what sold me on ThriveCart. And then the other thing about ThriveCart, it is sold as a lifetime deal. So you pay once and then you do not need to pay again. So I think it's about $500 or $600 one-time fee, versus if you go to any other shopping cart solution like that, you know, like ClickFunnels starts at $100 a month, right? There was SamCart. I don't know what the pricing's at now, but I think they're about $100 a month or so, right? So in order to have a nice shopping cart where people can check out and pay for things, you know, ThriveCart is by far the leader, in my opinion, and I've looked at a lot of this stuff. Now, it does not work well if you have an e-commerce store with a lot of products and a lot of SKUs. You know, you'd want something more like a Shopify for something like that. But for selling an online course, or if you just got like one product or like, you know, even 10 products, you could use it, you know, with ThriveCart. We were even doing our event sales using ThriveCart. So what's cool about what ThriveCart did is they launched a new feature called Learn Plus, which is an LMS. And they made it free to everyone who had already paid for a lifetime license. They just gave more great features. And I dived into this. And what I love about Learn Plus, it is a very simple way to deliver your course. Now, it does not have community features, but you could still use something like a Facebook group, a Discord channel. There's a lot of other tools out there to have your community in another place. That's not the best way, but there's not a really good, you know, SaaS product that I've seen that is meant for both courses and community. A lot of people are trying to do it, but not very well. I saw the course I'm in now, they hacked Circle.co together, and they made it, that Circle.co is more of a community platform, but they kind of hacked it together to make it into a course platform too. BuddyBoss, which is WordPress based, is very strong in both a community and in online courses. But it's WordPress. I fucking hate WordPress. It's a lot to set up, but it does, you know, it does the job. It does, you know, if you get everything set up, it's going to be great. They also do mobile, all that stuff, right? So what I loved about this was that, you know, for a one-time fee of like $500 or $600, then you get, you know, your whole shopping cart system set up, all your courses, everything is all in one place, and it's just very easy to use. And that's why I really like this. So this is a little bit of old news. This came out last year when they launched these new features. You can see here on my screen. I'm inside the Facebook group for ThriveCart. It's called Thrive Academy. And the owner, his name is Josh Bartlett. He was known to create these products, these SaaS products, and offer them with a lifetime deal where you just pay one time, you get it forever. Another great product like this is called ConvertBox, which is what I use for all my forms and my pop-ups and all that stuff. I believe that he was advising or coaching the other guy who started that. I forget the guy's name. And then that guy had grown ConvertBox, and then Josh bought ConvertBox from him. And they both are my favorite products. So when I look at like what are the best, you know, marketing tools that, you know, in my arsenal, it is like my favorites are ThriveCart and ConvertBox. So if anyone's looking for a shopping cart, if you're going to do an online course, like I really do recommend ThriveCart and using Learn Plus as your initial way of kind of getting your course out there. Again, you do want to have some solution for having community, but if you could use a Facebook group, you could do Slack channels. There's a lot of other tools out there that are going to be a lot more powerful for community. You want a community platform that people will actually use. You know, with Facebook groups back in the day, they were just kind of the go-to. Everyone was on Facebook, so we would use Facebook groups. It was hard to get someone to open something else. I like community platforms that have a mobile app. Circle.co had a mobile app. You know, BuddyBoss has the mobile app. Mighty Networks has a mobile app. So that way people can engage, on the go. Social networks are mobile networks. You look at any of the stats about the usage on social media. They're all, either 100% mobile. You're looking at like TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, or even like Facebook. I think it's like 80% mobile now, right? Twitter, I forget Twitter's stat, but a lot of them, even I think YouTube is 60 or 70% mobile. So you need things to be available on mobile.
Matt, you're dropping gold here, man. This is perfect timing for me because I'm reviewing all of this stuff. I'm looking at their website right now, and it says the counter I'm looking at says current special offer is guaranteed for a minimum of 5 days, 11 hours, 26 minutes, and 30 seconds. So depending on when you are watching this recording, I think we're gonna have to get this video out on YouTube as soon as possible here, Matt, so that people have a chance to get into this deal. Well, I got a question for you. Sorry.
Yeah, go. No, I just want to say that I'm pretty sure that timer is bull. But also, if you guys want to support the show, I am an affiliate for ThriveCart. I legitimately love it. But if you go to webfriendly.com/ThriveCart, you're going to support us and the show. And I'll also say, if you buy through my affiliate link, I've been offering this for a while. So they offer 50% affiliate commission. So it's a great product to promote if you're an affiliate marketer. I don't actively really heavy promote this. It's not my main source of income. But if you do it and you want my help to help you set it up, just if you buy through my link, contact me. I'll help you set it up. It is actually very easy to set up. But I'll be happy to walk you through it. What was your question there, Andy?
Matt? You're awesome, man. You're awesome. I know what you're saying, because sometimes marketers love using these countdown counters and they're not always accurate. Yeah, no, I hear you. So you just mentioned it earlier on that it's up to the the course creator to ensure that the students, the client, is going to move through the modules and actually complete the program. Because the data is not great on the number of people finishing an online course. And one of the strategies that I've learned in my research is just the leaderboard model, the gamification model, so that your students have an opportunity to earn badges and compete against one another and try to get to the top of the leaderboard, what have you. I don't know if ThriveCart offers that, and you didn't mention it. So I was just curious if if that kind of functionality is built in, or maybe it's something that their developers would look at rolling out later on.
No, I don't think that that's built in. I mean, this is a pretty new product. And what I like is that it's simple and it's limited. Like, you just access the courses and so on. And that's where community, the number one thing to increase course completion rates is going to be the collaboration aspect, the community aspect, right?
Community.
The other one that whenever I was doing my courses, I would do the classes live. Then they would record those classes and they'd be accessible in the members area. So by doing a live class, it also allows you to have some interactivity, answer questions, and so on. What I don't like is if you're in a live class and they're just kind of talking to you, not with you, it's pointless. Just give me the video, So I think you got to think about that if you're going to do it live. I'm thinking the next course that I do, I'm going to have the modules will be pre-recorded, gamification, all that would be amazing to have that. But then we would maybe do Q&As or additional sessions live to keep people engaged and going through it. There's a lot of ways to increase course completion rates. But I think the number one would be the community aspect.
Yeah, I think as soon as we're done here, I'm gonna be signing up using your link.
All right. So the next story we're gonna get into, I'm gonna do a little bit of an expose on the lifetime deals market. So lifetime deals is when you pay for a software once and you get lifetime access to it. So I went to a little bit of a journalistic approach, and I decided I'm going to put on my my journalistic glasses for this one. So I did a little bit of research on this. So this story here has to do with LeadCart. Okay, it's not ThriveCart. It's called LeadCart. Okay, it's someone trying to step into the game of ThriveCart. So I thought this was very interesting because this happens a lot, and people are pissed about LeadCart. All right, so this is what happened. LeadCart was on one of these lifetime deal websites. So AppSumo is a very famous place to go to find lifetime deals. It's kind of like Groupon, but for apps for your business, right? Or tech for your business. So
Gotcha.
they're definitely the leaders in the market. There's a lot of other ones that are out there. I actually have never bought from any other ones. I've also bought direct from companies offering lifetime deals. Like when Buddy Boss had their community theme available, they sold it as a lifetime deal. It was actually, I get in the idea. And a lot of other people have done this in the past. I had a old friend of mine. He had a contest platform, and he did a lifetime deal through something called the Warrior Forum, which is old school. It's a forum for digital marketers. And the reason he did it was to raise money to continue developing the product. And I believe this is quite a few years ago, but I think he raised like $200,000 by selling these lifetime deals. But we're going to talk more about the strategies behind why tech startups, or why you'd want to offer lifetime deals, and how to do it properly. But this is how to do it wrong. So what LeadCart apparently did, based on what I've been seeing. So I'm in a lot of Facebook groups that have to do with lifetime deals and people talking about these lifetime deals. And what I love about this is that the people in the groups are very tech savvy. So they really know about which softwares to do what. So if I'm trying to find a software to do something, I can ask in these groups and people will tell me which software is the best for it, I find. And then if I can also say, hey, I'm trying to find a software that does this, but I'm trying to find it as a lifetime deal. And then they recommend ones that maybe used to have a lifetime deal back, before. And so what people do is they sometimes will sell their licenses to each other, right? So typically you can get a lifetime deal on a software for like $50, right? So I use SocialBee for my social media management. I paid $50 for it one time. And if you look at their pricing, it's about $100 a month, right? But I bought it early. I actually bought I have 2 codes. I have 2 licenses. So back to LeadCart. So what happened was, what LeadCart ended up doing, apparently, is he did a big promotion, and it was a great deal. And people did what's called stacking. So when you stack, if you buy more codes, you unlock more features. So people stack this in the hundreds of dollars to get lifetime access to it. And then apparently he shut it down.
Brutal.
Right? So now if you go to his website, leadcart.io, it shut down. So people were calling out this guy. I'm not going to mention his name. Or actually, I will mention his name because it's right here on my screen. His name's Mohammed Tahab. So when I totally butchered his name. I'm sorry, Mohammed. So when I first heard the story, I actually left a comment on this. And I said, hey guys, like, you cannot buy a lifetime deal and expect it's going to be there for the rest of your life. These are startup founders that are just, this could have been his MVP, right? His minimal viable product, put it out, get user feedback, right? You're going to make some money from these lifetime deals. And then hopefully it works. And if it doesn't work, like, it doesn't mean he's ripping you off, right? So I was in defense of him at first. I was like, hey guys, this is not cool. But then as I started seeing more comments rolling in, people were saying that there was some nefarious activity, that possibly he was shutting down LeadCart only to start another brand on a different domain and a different name with the same product. But now he doesn't have to serve all these people that bought the lifetime deal. That's what some people were saying, which is bad. And then, the latest update to the story was that a lot of people were going and leaving some negative reviews on TrustPilot. And then he had somehow gotten rid of all these reviews. And I would like to talk about TrustPilot later on in this episode, just because I think TrustPilot is a little bit of a shady thing. So I think it's important, if you are going to buy a lifetime deal, don't expect that it's just going to be there for the rest of your life. You got to do your research. Whenever I get into any platform that I'm going to work with in my business, I always actually look at who the founders are, and I kind of look at their history. So when I was looking at community platforms and online courses, I'll call it out. So I was looking at Mighty Networks, and then I started watching, because Mighty Networks is pretty cool. I started watching videos of the founder of Mighty Networks and her history and so on. And there were certain things that didn't really resonate with like her vision of the platform and what she was doing. And so for that reason, I didn't use Mighty Networks, right? So, if you're going to go big, like let's say, LeadCart is like your shopping cart, you want to make sure that thing is going to be working and running all the time. Because if all of a sudden it shuts down and all of a sudden nobody could pay you any money, this is a big problem, right? I invested a lot of time into setting up ThriveCart over the years, right? I've had this thing since I bought it in like 2016, right? So if it all of a sudden shut down, I have to redo everything. I have to reset up all my shopping cart. I have to redo my affiliate program, all that. It would be a pain in the butt, right? So you definitely want to do your research. And so, there's always reviews, but I think that getting into these Facebook groups And seeing what people are talking about is a great way to analyze whether or not you're gonna invest into this lifetime deal. So people are pissed about fucking LeadCart. And I don't know the whole story. And if the founder, because this guy has been trying to clean up his reputation, I would love to hear his side of the story. I don't know if anyone's actually got it. So Mohammed, if you are watching this and you would like to come on our show and talk about this, because I'm going to be sharing this video inside the communities that are talking about this thing, because I think a lot of people want this to be known that they don't want to get ripped off on these LTDs anymore.
But wait, okay, so let's take a step back, because you're using the term rip off, but then it's interesting because you said originally you were coming to his defense almost, because listen, guys, like lifetime deals, they're not. You're almost gambling. Maybe gambling is the wrong word, because you're basically these SaaS products and software products. They bugs are a thing, developers are a thing, support is a thing. And clearly, a lifetime deal access does not provide the company enough revenue to be sustainable. And ultimately, you need the business to be sustainable. Otherwise, it's going to close up shop, right? So your argument is you can't trust every single lifetime deal you come across is going to be available for your entire lifetime, because some of those projects are going to they're just going to close up shop. But if what you're saying though is if the intention of the founder was to fool people into thinking that he has the best intentions, that here we're going to be around for as long as we possibly can be, and then the next month they close up shop, then that they intentionally deceived people and they had that nefarious intent. I can understand why so many people are pissed off if that truly is the situation. But I can understand I can understand people are pissed off when they buy a lifetime deal and they fully expect to have access to this software for the years to come, and then they're well within their rights to be pissed off. I'm not taking that away from anybody, but I see what you're saying too, because you gotta understand that not every single lifetime deal is going to be with you for the years to come. So it's a terrible situation.
That made me think that maybe there was some ill intention here was, so this product was promoted on something called Digital Think Tank. And the guy who runs that, his name is also Mohammed. And a lot of people were attacking him and saying that he was responsible and that he should be responsible to refund everyone because he was selling through his platform. So people were promoting him, and then he had the deal with, right? So he's an affiliate. But the way that it works, I think, is that you're not going to LeadCart's website to pay. You're paying through digital think tanks, right? Mm-hmm. So my perception of him is that he's genuinely pissed off and feels like his community was ripped off, and he feels bad about it. Like people were really attacking him a lot over this, and I definitely am in defense of him. I think he's an entrepreneur. He's trying to find the best deals, and it seems like he really cares that he's upset about it. But small business, not because I say small business, but I mean like he's not like a huge venture backed business, so he can't just refund everyone's money and take the loss, right?
Yeah, and
so I do kind of feel bad. Yeah.
Yeah, he had the best intentions. Entered into what likely seems to be a bad business deal, and then who paid the price? His community paid the price. So that's exactly why you need to be super careful these days, because it takes a lot of work and effort to cultivate a community, an audience that now they know, like, and trust you. And it could be like one mistake like this, and you've completely undone all of the goodwill that you've cultivated in your audience. Yeah.
He mentioned that he had a contract with this guy over the deal, and people were mentioning, well, hey, if you have a contract, like a contract's only good if you enforce it. So they're kind of saying like you should take him to court, And so it's kind of like a little tricky situation. So again, I don't know the whole, what's going on there, but while I was doing research for the topic of LeadCart, I noticed that someone else had just posted about another platform called Spayee, Spayee. And what this person's saying is that they bought a license from AppSumo, and I got it up on my screen here. There we go. So originally this deal was $79. It has 227 5 tacos. So this was a very popular one. 227 reviews on AppSumo means that a lot of people bought this. And you could see here, there was 3 tiers to this. So people would have stacked up to 3 tiers. They would spend $229 on this. So what happened was Spayee got acquired by another company called Graphy for $25 million. And what's more interesting about this is the timing. So they launched their LTD here, and I'm just looking at the timing of the comments here was in June of 2021 is when the founder, his name's Sandy Spy here on the screen here, but you can see when they leave this top comment, it's like a pinned comment on the reviews. So that means that it came out on June 21st, 2021, and then on October 11th of 2021, so just a few months later, they get acquired for $25 million. So what he could have done is did a promo on AppSumo, got a lot of users because it would possibly increase the valuation of his business by saying, I have X amount of users, right? Who knows, like in terms of selling the lifetime deals, he could have cashed in on all those sales and lifetime deals, then sells. And I'm surprised that this thing sold for $25 million. That alone was surprising to me. But then what happened was Graphy was not, I suppose, what Ryan Newman is saying here in the Facebook groups is that they're not fully supporting all of these people who had bought the lifetime deal. So now they're trying to upsell them into other plans, which I think is a good strategy for a startup to sell a lifetime deal of a plan and then try to upsell those users into subscriptions, right? But the problem is that a lot of the LTD community does not want to pay for subscriptions. That's the whole point of looking into lifetime deals.
Yeah.
So this is another one of those stories where, I think if you're going to do a lifetime deal, if you're a SaaS startup or whatever, you're doing this, I think you want to keep your relationship with all those people in the LTD. I think a good way to help monetize them more is maybe turn them into affiliates, brand ambassadors, people who just love your product and who will just leave great reviews for you and so on, and make them your brand ambassadors and like really keep them engaged in your community and your content and so on. Because when people get a lifetime deal that they love talking about how much they love using it. Like ThriveCart, lifetime deal I bought in 2016. I still get a lot of value from it. I could promote that thing all day long because I like it. It's a really good product. So this is just another one of those stories. I mean, this happens all the time in the lifetime deals community of people getting, called gypped. Same thing. I bought a live chat software like way back, like 2010 or something. And I didn't log in for a long time, and they deleted my account. So I was like, felt gypped, but whatever. I mean, I paid like $50 one time, but then that company, I forget which company it was, but they grew a lot. I think they even got acquired. Right. And so I guess because I didn't log in for a while, they just deleted my account. And then when I tried to contact them about it, they're like, I'm sorry, we deleted your account because you didn't log in. I was like, well, what do you mean? I had a lifetime deal. They're like, sorry. I was like, what the hell? And so this kind of stuff does happen a lot. And I think that, the people selling the lifetime deals, like these platforms, like the AppSumos, Digital Think Tank, and all these ones, we got to have a better system for this, right? We got to have a better system so that way, at least I would say, having I was thinking a 2-year warranty, so you're guaranteed that this will be there for at least 2 years or your money back kind of thing. That would be a good one because you can't expect that these companies stay in business forever or that they can continue to possibly support. There was another one that was called, I think it was Bcast, which was like a podcasting hosting platform. So to sell hosting as a lifetime deal is kind of tricky because you're always going to have hosting costs. So how do you do that? So I remember seeing that deal and wondering about that, and I didn't buy it because I was like, that seems weird. And I even saw some comments in Facebook groups about it. So like, nah, I didn't get it. And then apparently, I don't know, some drama went down with Bcast as well.
Well, yeah, dude, I really like your recommendation. I hope anyone who's considering offering a lifetime deal is listening to Matt right now, because I really like the strategy with just turning those customers into affiliates or those brand ambassadors for you. I mean, what are your thoughts on just because those people who purchase the lifetime access, they are typically it might be your minimum viable product. It might be you're trying to launch your app, your SaaS, your company, and just get that initial traction. And when you offer a lifetime access deal, there is going to be that natural organic buzz that's being created because everyone's looking for a deal. Everyone's looking for that way to get ahead. What do you think about the feedback that those people are providing to the company? Like that would be the natural exchange. We're going to offer you an amazing discount. Here's a lifetime access deal. Just, hey, you're basically our beta testers. They're not called beta testers, I know, but in a sense, you're basically the beta tester for this company. you're going to, in exchange for this amazing deal, you're going to be sharing all kinds of feedback, the things that you like, the things that you don't like. And then any additional features that they include, well, then there might be a monthly fee to those additional features. Are you not a fan of that approach as much?
Yeah. So let's talk about, why you should do an LTD, why you should do a lifetime deal on a platform like AppSumo. AppSumo is one of the bigger ones. Okay. So one is if you don't want to have, if you want to raise capital from investors and you want to keep 100% equity in your business, what you could do is do an LTD and raise possibly a few $100,000 to help develop your product, right? So all those initial buyers are basically like, kind of like your investors that you do not have to give equity to, but you need to continue serving, well, not necessarily serving them, but allowing them access to your platform. So I think that's one of the best ways to raise money for a startup. You build your MVP, right? You sell access to the MVP. You say, hey, you're going to get this plan. So let's say you have 3 plans. You have starter, pro, and agency, right? And you give them the pro plan. So what some people do is they'll say you get the pro plan, but then later on they change their plans or change the name of their plans. So there's all the tricks that they do. But to just keep them, on that, what you're offering them. And then as you build out more features and products, that could give them a reason to upgrade or charge them another one-time fee for the upgrade. And this time, you don't have to go through AppSumo, where AppSumo is taking 8%. I don't know what percent they're taking. I'm guessing they take like 50%. But now you could sell directly to them at a much higher price. So the AppSumo pricing, these products are like $50, $60, $70, and you could stack them, right? But if you're just selling direct, like when we did the deal on Buddy Boss, I think they were selling their theme for a one-time fee of, I could be wrong about this, but I think it was like $300. But they just sold it directly from their site. They weren't using a third party, right? So then they can keep all that revenue. So that's the other thing too, is that people, if they love the product, they do want the upgrade, they're likely willing to pay a higher price. So ThriveCart's model is interesting because they'll charge, $600 or $700, whatever it is. But I think the way that they base that pricing is looking at the average lifetime value of a product like that in the industry. So looking at like Samcart, for example, maybe, I don't know if this is true, but maybe their average lifetime value is like $600 or $700. People stay on for 3 months to 6 months or something like that. A lot of people, some people do stick for a long period of time. So they know that. So, and a lot of people who will buy at $700 will maybe never even use the product. Same thing with the lifetime deal stuff, right? People buy it. I have actually a lot of products that I bought that I never use. Right. I just like maybe I'll
same here.
Later.
I'm also a fan of AppSumo. And honestly, I think 80% of those products I haven't even touched. I know. Been there.
Yeah. So the other part of this is getting that initial users and getting that user feedback. So if you're in the startup world and you're familiar with, you build a minimal viable product, you get users to use it, and then you get their feedback, and then eventually you maybe do a pivot, right? And you figure out where's our market, what kind of users do we have here? What features do they want? You get user feedback and you iterate, right? And that's the whole process of like building a startup. So that's the other reason to run a lifetime deal. So you could pay for the development that you had already done. You could raise money to build the product even further along before you want to raise money or don't raise money at all. Plus now you're getting all that user feedback. So those are the reasons to do it. When people do it because they're trying to make money, just because they want the money and they're not going to invest it back in the business and so on, I think that's a big mistake. The other one you could do is, run the deal for a plan with a plan to upsell them into something else, whatever that might be, right? Maybe I saw a Social Bee. I bought that and I love that product. I bought it in LTD. And then they offer a lot of concierge services. So they'll do your social media management. They'll do your copywriting, blog posts. And I've used their concierge service a lot and I really love it. They also launched an online course. I think it was like $1,000, so it wasn't really like they had other additional products and services that you can upgrade to, right? And I think the other one is if you're planning to sell your startup. So I saw another one on here. I think it was called, I forget what it was called, but they had a really good deal. It was an analytics software. They had a really good deal and they were selling it a lot. And it was very, very affordable. I think it started at like $25 for an analytics platform and then you could upgrade it. And then I got it, and then I realized that like there was this one feature I wanted that I didn't have it, and I messaged them like, "Hey guys, can I like just pay a little extra just to get this one feature?" And they're like, "No problem." They just enabled it for me. Like, go ahead, use it. They were really cool about it. I wish I could shout them out. I can't remember what it's called. I think it was True Conversion. I think it was
okay.
it was True Conversion. TRU. I think that's what it was. Yeah. And then, but what they were doing is I think that they were just getting a lot more users on their platform. So that way, when they get acquired, they could say, we have 10,000 people using this product. And this is the data we're getting from them, right? Even though those people are not paying necessarily a monthly subscription, but they're still in your platform using your product. And yeah, there is opportunity to upsell them into other things, whether it be courses, events, other services, more features, different plans, whatever. So there's a lot of reasons that LTD could be good. But if you're going to buy an LTD, you got to do your research, especially on these things where you're investing in you're going to be building out the platform, right? Like something like a ThriveCart, or you're going to put your online course on it, that sort of thing. That's where you do a lot more research. If it's something like, I don't know, maybe analytics, pretty quick to set up, you're not investing too much, your business is not super invested into it, that's where it's kind of like you could take your chances with it a little bit more. But I do recommend always looking at the reviews on AppSumo. Sometimes I've been finding that some of them seem a little bit fake. Maybe that the founder just got a bunch of their friends or people in their community to just go leave a positive review. Or sometimes they encourage people. They say, "Hey, if you leave a review, we'll upgrade your account to this level." So they could be kind of like, manipulating the reviews a little bit. So you do got to read the reviews and see, and there's also questions and answers, and you can kind of see how they're engaging. But the other big place is looking at Facebook groups. So if you go onto Facebook, type in lifetime deals in the search bar, and then go down to groups, you'll see there's a whole bunch of groups that are all in the lifetime deal space. So go there, and then you can look at what people are talking about. There's a lot of them that are always discussing all these AppSumo deals. If someone's not discussing it, you could post and say, "Hey guys, what do you think about this deal?" And other people who might know a lot more than we do will tell you all about whether or not you should get it, if it's a good deal, or like what's going on there. Another popular place that's more old school is the Warrior Forum. So if you go to Warrior Forum, and they have like special offers in their marketplace, you'll see there are some deals there for both courses, softwares, stuff like that. I have not bought from here. I just know this is another popular place that people go to find different kinds of deals on softwares.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I need to do some more homework on lifetime deals too.
Yeah, I sometimes spend a long time researching lifetime deals on product. If I see a product that does something, I'll start looking at, okay, who else does products like this or has a product like this, to kind of see like, who was the innovator first. And then, because they're usually these deals are like kind of like often copying other ones that already exist. So yeah.
Yeah, and I'll admit that I didn't even know lifetime deals was a thing until I think you were posting about it 3 or 4 years ago, and that's what got me into AppSumo. And you really did drop a huge tip that I even need to incorporate in my own system of vetting these deals with regards to just doing a little bit of homework, doing a little bit of research on the founder, the CEO, the leadership team, because whatever you see there is probably going to point in the right direction. Because yeah, I mean, anyone who if it comes to light that this example that we're highlighting for everybody really was a nefarious deal, like it just they had the worst intent. Yeah, you're doing permanent damage to your name. I don't know how that gentleman will ever be able to be in business ever again if he was actively trying to screw people over. Yeah, you're not going to get very far if you're trying to screw people over these days.
The thing is that even if he does, a lot of people might not ever connect the dots, right? Like we just talked about the story and it's going to go on YouTube. But, you're looking into it. If you're not in these Facebook groups, you don't know about this stuff.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So I don't think that's necessarily true. I think he did burn a lot of bridges. Right? What's great about AppSumo is I think you get 60 days. After you buy a product, you have 60 days to return it.
Yeah, that's
so if it ends up sucking, whatever, you can always return it. And they all are also good. If things shut down, often they will give people credits back. So if you pay $50, they're like, hey, we'll give you $50 in AppSumo credits. So you can go buy it. So they're actually really good. AppSumo is really good with that.
Yeah. And while you were talking about LeadCart, I literally just did a Google search and used the news tab. Nothing there. It's
nothing.
It's kind of sketchy.
And the website's
It's
down.
kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and if you see this, the story was blowing up in the lifetime deals community. People were really mad about it, and it's a little bit old news now. But I saw that the recent update is that he somehow manipulated his TrustPilot to get rid of all the bad reviews. And speaking of TrustPilot, that is our next story. So I find TrustPilot very interesting. So I once was reached out to on LinkedIn by a company that develops websites. And they were doing their cold email outreach. It was obviously an automated bot that was emailing me, but I was actually looking to make a website. So I was talking to them, and I looked at the TrustPilot, and they had like 2,000 reviews that were all like, they were like 4.5 stars, 5 stars, whatever, average. And I was like, holy shit! Like these guys made like if you have 2,000 reviews. Usually, if you get reviews, like at least I would say like you have 4 times as many customers, right? Because not everyone's going to leave a review, right? So if they had 2,000 reviews, that means that they have like 8,000 customers. I was like, I don't know. So I started looking at the reviews, and I'm like, these are obviously fake. And I thought it was so interesting that my initial reaction, if I didn't, have my digital marketing sunglasses, my journalistic sunglasses on, I would have thought that that was real and that they were legit, right? And so I ended up not working with them because I realized that it was their fake reviews. But that got me into looking at TrustPilot some more. And I was talking to another tech co-founder about this, and he was telling me that he realized on his TrustPilot that there was a lot of negative reviews because usually people will go and write a review. They'll get the energy to go write a review when they want to write a bad review, right?
Yeah.
So even though he's a lot of happy customers, the ones that are happy aren't going out of their way to go write him a review. But the bad ones are. So he contacted TrustPilot, and he's like, hey, like, what can we do about this? And they're basically like, let's bleep this out. Pay us. They're like, So what's funny is because as I was kind of developing the story on how to identify a good product, a good lifetime deal, and looking at how LeadCart had manipulated his TrustPilot, and then I saw this news that apparently TrustPilot is being accused in from many people of allowing or not censoring fake reviews. So this is apparently a very known issue about this, and their stock has plummeted. So I got a story here from Estate Agent Today. So I think this is like a real estate agent kind of site, but they're talking about how real estate agents are having these fake reviews. There's another story here with the founder talking about how he pledges to get tough with cheats. We ask, how far would you trust TrustPilot? And so basically they're saying that they're going to start suing people. And they are in the process of suing some companies that have manipulated their reviews on TrustPilot. So apparently they have a legal team. Here's another one here about their share price dropping. So they have a legal team that's going out, and now they're attempting to create publicity over the fact that they are suing or trying to punish people who try to manipulate their platform. So I think this is all kind of PR, BS in my opinion, that they're not going to get everybody because there's probably like so many thousands of people who have done this. It's actually really funny. If you go on Upwork, you could just find people who say that they will write fake reviews for you. And you can also go and look at who they have worked with in the past, and you can actually see everybody who hired them and all company names. And then that those people also paid for fake reviews. So it's actually like you can figure this out. You can like crack down on this. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I got the journalistic glasses.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But what I think is even more.
Yeah. You do have the right sunglasses. You are rocking the right look for this right now. I love it.
Yeah. So what TrustPilot does, you can see here their plan. So they're saying it starts at $200 per month, paid annually. But really, if you want to clean up your reviews, you got to pay them way more money. Okay, I think it was in the several hundreds of dollars per month, or over $1,000 per month. So I had somebody I know who was trying to like get into this, and he kind of told me that like he just felt like it was just such a scam. That's like the way that reviews work is that people will write bad reviews, and then people are like, I want to clean up my reputation. So then they end up paying many thousands of dollars to TrustPilot, who will then clean it up and give them a 5-star review. You look at like a GoDaddy or any of these like big companies that all basically have to pay. It's not just TrustPilot. There's some other ones out there that are the same business model.
Yeah.
Yelp, actually, sorry, for the local businesses. I remember Yelp Yelp. We're gonna bleep that one out. But I remember talking to Yelp. My mom had a restaurant, and the way that they were like, I don't know, man. I really felt like they were just like, I don't know. It just felt really unethical working with Yelp. In the way that they come after people.
You beat me to it, man. This problem is so much bigger than TrustPilot. So much bigger. Years ago, I remember hiring a graphic designer off of Fiverr, and she had like 1,000 positive reviews. And like, this is I'm only going to share the story really quickly because this was like my eye-opening moment. And I guess I just learned this lesson the hard way years ago because I paid her, I can't remember what I paid her. This was years ago. And she provided the work that I asked for, but there was so much back and forth. And she provided images for me that were in the totally wrong format. So then I'm Googling the proper formats, taking screenshots and sending it to her, like basically doing her job for her, right? Like, you're the graphic designer. I'm not a graphic designer. You're like, I told you I needed, these profile shots and that wallpaper and like for the platforms and everything. Like, you should have known the ratios that I need these images in. And it got so bad that I finally just I left her a hugely negative review because it was accurate. And I submitted a complaint with Fiverr, and I said, how is it possible that this graphic designer with like 1,000 positive reviews can't even provide the images to me in the correct formats? Like, it's not even possible. So I put it to them. I said, I think you might have like someone who's like scamming your system here, who's somehow managed to populate all of these fake reviews in our account. And then she's basically fooling people like me. And I said to Fiverr, I'm like, I don't even want a refund. I'm just like, I'm probably not going to ever do this ever again because this was such a negative experience. And then, I mean, I can go on and on and on. I as I've mentioned before, I'm in the YouTube game, and dude, it's the same thing with YouTube comments, man. Same thing, because when I do a comparable analysis, I'm checking out the competitors' comments, and it's so painfully obvious that like a boring video, and I know it in my gut, like, this is a boring video. This guy's paying for fake comments, probably off of Fiverr or Upwork or what have you. Yeah. So yeah, this is a huge problem.
Yeah, but the Fiverr thing, I don't know if you remember, I used to talk about this, but sometimes what they'll do is a very simple task. And what happens when you create a listing on Fiverr, the URL at the top is the title of your listing. So the title will be like, I will convert your Word doc to a PDF, right? Something very easy you could do for $5 and get a 5-star review on, right? And then what they'll do is they'll switch it. And then after they get a bunch of 5-star reviews, and they switch the title to, I will, make all your social media graphics or whatever, right? But if you look at the URL doesn't change. So I've noticed that a lot. If I look at a Fiverr listing, which I don't really buy on Fiverr anymore, but I look at the URL, because the URL was the original title, which is what may have generated those initial 5-star reviews. But of course, you can also go on Upwork. I bet you can go on Fiverr and hire somebody to leave you a 5-star review, But I know on Upwork, you can just go on there, a lot of these different platforms, and be like, give me lots of 5-star reviews, and you will get it. So it's very easy to manipulate the system. So yeah, reviews are a tough thing to really get. I personally don't leave negative reviews for businesses unless they're really bad. And I think that it is jeopardizing the community if they ended up working with this company. I usually only will leave 5-star reviews because as a business owner, I know how it can really impact your business. So if I just have like a slightly negative experience, it was just personal to me, I won't necessarily leave a bad review. But if I got ripped off, and like this person was unethical, then I would go out of my way to do that, which I've not really done very much of. So yeah, I'm very very careful because I know what it's like to be a business owner. You can't be perfect. And so, some people might get upset for whatever reason. They got a bad mood. Maybe you're in a bad mood, whatever. And it sucks to get a bad review. So I'm very cautious, but yeah, kind of what you were talking about there, where it's like, it was really bad. And clearly they got fake reviews, and yeah.
Oh, I totally felt ripped off. Totally felt ripped off. Totally felt I wasted my time, wasted my money. And I've never been back to Fiverr since. So it's funny. You and I it sounds like both of us have had negative experiences with Fiverr, and we haven't gone back. It looks like lots of people are having negative experiences with TrustPilot too, it's a big problem.
I spent a few $1,000 hiring some web developers on Upwork, and they were good at first, but then they just got really slow, and I never got the thing that I needed. It just never got done, and I was pretty upset. And I was like, kind of wanted to file a complaint, but then they're from Ukraine. And then I was like, and then now they're MIA completely. So I was like, I'm just gonna let this one go. Yeah. So it was kind of funny. I was like, I was contemplating. I was like, is this bad enough that I want to complain? Yeah, like because I was like, I don't really want to like get my money back, but I was like, I feel like, you know, like they never delivered. Like they built this whole website, but like it's not live, and I ended up giving up on it, and that's why we switched to Ghost, because I was like I just do not want to deal with WordPress anymore, right? But I let it go. Yeah. I just let it go now because I know that they're probably going through some hard time right now, so it's whatever. But
trying to feed themselves and stay alive.
Yeah, I think hiring people on things like Upwork and whatever, looking at reviews, you know, or whatever, you're trying to hire someone. You gotta be careful. You can't rely only on the reviews. Always read the reviews and kind of see if there's like, you know, some pattern of fakeness. I guess that's it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and I would love to see if, and this is a whole rabbit hole that we don't have time to get into right now, but I would love to see how Web3, how decentralized technology will solve this problem for us. Because there's a solution. There's got to be a solution. This is a Web 2 problem. We don't have time to dive into this now, but I'm hopeful. I remain optimistic that Web 3 will. There's some startup out there. There's some smart, savvy, tech savvy guy out there that's working on a solution for this problem, because reviews are vital. They're so important for a consumer to make a decision on how to move forward with whatever best practices or tasks that they're looking, or tasks or responsibilities they're looking to outsource. And we're living in a global village. The beautiful thing about what we're experiencing in the world right now is that you can literally be anywhere in the world, and you can still operate, you can still run a business, you can still find clients, you can still bring value to the marketplace. And reviews are huge. I still rely on them for a lot of things. And when you can't trust the reviews, you just feel like you've been tricked, and nobody likes that feeling. So
I think you're right with the Web3 possibly being the solution, because a lot of people have been talking about like the next social platform, the big one, is going to be a Web3 platform. And then if it is, then, then if your review is tied to that profile, would be very interesting. So it's a very interesting insight. We got to figure out the solution on that.
Yeah, someone's working on it, but someone a lot smarter than me.
All right. So wrapping up, if you guys are enjoying the show, make sure that you subscribe on YouTube. Oh man, I forgot to tell you about this. Oh yeah, I want to show you guys one more thing I did. I actually stole this idea from somebody else.
That was a quick fake out there.
Yeah, I noticed. I saw someone post this, and he had a playlist of music, I guess to work to or whatever. And then in the description, it said, add a song to let us know that you were here. So it was a playlist that I guess maybe he added some songs to it. I don't know. But he actually set it up wrong because I could not add a song to it. But then I went in to Spotify and I figured out how to make a playlist that was collaborative. So I made a playlist called Good Morning Marketers. You can see it here on my screen. And I added a few songs that I think are good jams to kind of get some work to. So I call it the Good Mood Work Playlist. And so when you go over there, I'll put the link in the description on in the YouTube description or wherever you're listening to podcasts. I'll put it in the description. So go over there and leave us a track, something that you love listening to. I think we'll probably. I think I got like 20 songs. Yeah, I got 19 songs on here. I would love to get more songs. Maybe we'll keep it at like 100. I'll filter it in case anyone puts in like a really bad song. But besides that, we'll keep this one going. And this is some of the jams that I like listening to while I'm working. Keep me kind of feeling upbeat. So I thought it'd be fun for us to kind of listen to some music together on Spotify. So let's go over there. So subscribe on YouTube, whatever, on the podcast, and then let's collaborate on this playlist and get some good jams going.